The history of Pleasant Hill Missionary Baptist Church, also known as Pleasant Hill Church, is one filled with unparalleled riches and beaming pride. Its humble beginnings can be traced back to early 1800s when faithful servants, given the earthly titles of slaves, gathered under the trees to form Pleasant Hill Church. Prior to this time, the founders of Pleasant Hill Church worshiped with white congregants of Lebanon Baptist Church and Roswell Presbyterian Church. These services were observed from church balconies on benches made of logs and scraps of wood. One of these benches still exists today and is currently displayed at Lebanon Church, located on Crabapple Road in Roswell, Georgia. In the 1830s, slaves worshiped separately from their owners and congregated as families in their own quarters. Lebanon Baptist Church records state that in 1847, Burl Hembry, a Negro slave, was ordained to preach, and his brother Alec was ordained as a deacon. From this information, it is believed that Reverend Burl Hembry was Pleasant Hill's first pastor and his brother Alec the first deacon. The members of this church body include the Hembry, Grogan, and Smith families. Lebanon Baptist Church records further reveal that in 1855, land was secured for a cemetery and church for the slaves of Pleasant Hill Baptist Church. The church edifice was located a few miles from Lebanon on Rock Mill Road, and both were given the name Pleasant Hill as it was a pleasant hill far removed from the main road. Today, this site can be found behind the Roswell Town Center Shopping Center. Members of both Pleasant Hill and Zion Baptist churches are buried at the Pleasant Hill Historical Cemetery. It is said that the establishment of the new church led to an increase in members and the people worshiped there for many years. Unfortunately, by this time, most of the original members had passed away, and the majority of the surviving members had moved to Roswell, largely due to numerous job opportunities. As Roswell blossomed, the desire for better trades heightened. Members of the Pleasant Hill Church located in Lebanon found transportation to be a problem. Although the exact date is unknown, the members consented to leave the Lebanon location and transfer to Roswell as two Baptist churches, Pleasant Hill Baptist Church and Zion Baptist Church. Both churches acknowledged the first church as their own. Having no place to worship, members of the Pleasant Hill Baptist Church adopted Doris Place, a building owned by a small number of Methodists, for worship services. On January 5, 1922, a lot was purchased from Brother Murnell Knuckles, and construction for the new place of worship began later that year on August 5th. A great majority of the construction activities were conducted by Reverend D.H. Marshall, who served as pastor and carpenter. The lumber for the new church came from the original church building and buildings demolished at Camp Garden, a nearby army post. Upon completion, there stood a wooden one-room building whose doors faced Pleasant Hill Street. The congregation held Sunday school every Sunday and services on the second Sunday of each month. Although the members struggled during the Depression years, they never gave up, and there was never a time when religious training was not provided for all ages. The church was blessed, and the membership continued to grow. On March 15, 1954, Reverend J.J. Grogan began serving as pastor. Under his leadership, the present church building was constructed on November 29, 1962. On June 30, 1963, the new sanctuary was dedicated by the Reverend B. Joseph Johnson, who served as senior pastor of the Greater Mount Calvary Baptist Church. During the dedication, Reverend Johnson delivered the Entrance Day sermon entitled God's Call to Consecration, which is based on 1 Chronicles chapter 29, verses 1 through 5. On September 9, 1973, the property adjoining the church was purchased for a parking lot and later gravelled in 1978. In 1997, Pleasant Hill Church underwent a change in leadership by installing Saban P. Strickland as pastor. Pleasant Hill Church continues to cultivate its mission under the spiritual guidance of Pastor Strickland today. Blessed through the years with growth in membership and emphasis on positively impacting the Roswell community, the Pleasant Hill Community Center was constructed in 2005. We are recognized as a pillar in the Roswell community, and we do not take this lightly. We will continue to positively affect our community by planting seeds of greatness and nurturing their growth. As we celebrate the rich legacy of our past, we look forward to the greater richness that our future holds.